All of you, my dear student, all of you, good morning. Today class we discuss about the heat power engineering, fourth chapter steam nozzles. In this today class, the steam nozzle chapter fourth. In the previous period, last class, we have learned about design of steam nozzles, estimate diameter of a convergent divergent nozzles from the given data. On completion of this period, you would be able to know how to solve numerical problem of design of steam nozzles. Today class, in this period, we discuss about the solve numerical problem on design of steam nozzles. Numerical problems. First problem is solve the numerical problems in design of steam nozzles. Designs of steam nozzle related numerical problems we solved in today class. Problems. First problem, a convergent divergent nozzle for a steam turbine has to deliver 400 kg of steam per hour. Has to deliver 400 kg of steam per hour under a supply condition of 10 bar ABS, dry and saturated, and a back pressure of 0.1 bar absolutely. Initial velocity of steam is 150 meter per second. Neglecting friction, find throat and outlet area. Neglecting friction, find throat and outlet area. Find the throat and outlet area. The solution given data. In this problem, P1, steam fluid is entry position, pressure is P1 10.0 bar, velocity is 150 meter per second, area is A1. In exit position, area is A1. In entry position, area is A1. Cross sectional area of the convergent divergent nozzles. Convergent nozzle cross sectional area, divergent nozzle cross sectional area A3, convergent nozzle cross sectional area A1. Throat area is A2. This entry position pressure is 10.05 bar, exit position pressure is 0.1 bar as shown in this figure. 1 to A1 is a convergent nozzle entry position, 2 to A2 is a throat area, 3 to A3 is a divergent nozzle area, exit area. 1 to A1 entry area, 2 to A2 throat area, 3 to A3 exit area. This condition, in this entry area pressure is 10.0 bar, exit area pressure is 0.1 bar, velocity is 150 meter per second. This is a solution of this problem. In this problem, throat pressure is not given. Throat pressure is not given. Condition for maximum discharge can be applied, assuming maximum rate of steam flow. Condition for maximum discharge can be applied, assuming maximum rate of steam flow. Steam being initially dry and saturated. Steam being initially dry and saturated. We have critical pressure ratio. Critical pressure ratio P2 by P1 is equal to 0.578. Therefore, P2 is equal to P1 into 0.578. P1 value is 10 bar. 10 into 0.578. P2 value is 5.78 bar. In this problem, throat pressure is not given. Condition for maximum discharge can be applied, assuming maximum rate of steam flow. Steam being initially dry and saturated. We have critical pressure ratio P2 by P1 is equal to 0.578. Therefore, P2 is equal to P1 into 0.578. P1 value is 10 into 0.578. P2 value is 5.78 bar. In this figure, as shown in this figure, change in enthalpy is indicated y-axis, entropy is indicated x-axis, as shown in figure. H1, H2, H3, these are indicated y-axis. H1 is pressure is P1 10 bar, H2 pressure is P2 5.78, H3 pressure is P3 0.1. A, B, C. Q2, Q3. Heat discharge. HS diagram as shown in the HS diagram. Enthalpy drop using Miller diagram. Enthalpy drop using Miller diagram. 1 to 2 adiabatic expansion in convergent portion. 1 to 2 is a adiabatic expansion in convergent portion. 1 to 2. 1 to 2 adiabatic expansion in convergent portion. 2 to 3 is adiabatic expansion in a divergent portion. 2 is a throat portion. From the chart, H1 enthalpy 2778 kilojoule per kg. Miller chart. The drop using Miller diagram from the chart. H2 is equal to 2670 kilojoule per kg. H2 is equal to 2670 kilojoule per kg. H3 is equal to 2090 kilojoule per kg. Drainage fraction X3 is equal to 0.96. X2 is equal to 0.795. These are X3 is a drainage fraction of the divergent portion, exit portion. X2 is a drainage fraction of the throat portion, 0.795. Enthalpy of H1 is a entry position, H2 is a throat position, H3 is the exit position. Exit portion, throat portion, H1 is a entry portion. From tables, spectra volume of steam, spectra volume of steam, VS2. VS2 is a spectra volume of steam, VS2 0.325 meter cube per kg at 5.78 bar. VS3 14.674 meter cube. Spectra volume of steam, VS2 in throat portion. Spectra volume of steam, VS3 in convergent portion or exit portion, 14.674 meter cube kg at 0.1 bar. Enthalpy drop during 1 to 2. 1 to 2 portion, delta H1 is equal to H1 minus H2. Therefore, delta H1 is H1 value 2778 minus 2610. Total delta H1 value is 108 kilojoule per kg. Enthalpy drop during 1 to 3. 1 2 3 delta H2 H1 minus H3. Therefore H1 value 2778 minus H3 value 2090. Delta H2 is 688 kilojoule per kg. 6 is converted joule per kg. 10 power 3. Initial or approach velocity is given as 105 meter per second. V1. Initial or approach velocity is given V1 is equal to 105 meter per second. Velocity of steam at throat V2 is equal to under root 2 delta H1 plus V1 square meter per second. This is V2. Velocity of steam at throat, therefore V2 is equal to under root 2 into 10 power 8 delta H value to 10 power 3 plus 150 whole square 488.4 meter per second. This is a velocity of steam at throat portion. Exit velocity of steam under root 2 delta H2 plus V1 square meter per second. Exit velocity of steam is V3. Therefore V3 is equal to 1182.6 meter per second. V3 is equal to 2 into under root 2 x 688 into 10 power 3 plus 150 whole square equal to 1182.6 meter per second. Mass rate of flow m 400 kg per hour. 60 into 60 0.111 kg per second. Kg per hour is converted kg per second. But m mass flow rate of steam m is equal to A2 V2 by X2 Vs2 law of continuity. Hence A2 A3 V3 by X3 Vs3. A2 is equal to m X2 Vs2 by V2 and A3 is equal to mx3 Vs3 by V3. This value. First problem is completed. We solve the next problem, second problem. We solve in solution. We solve in second problem. A nozzle is to be supplied with steam at 10 bar and 200 degrees centigrade and is to discharge 200 kg per hour into a turbine wheel chamber where the pressure is 1.5 bar absolutely. The efficiency of the nozzle may be taken as 85%. Calculate the throat and exit diameter of the nozzle. Calculate the throat and exit diameter of the nozzle. Solution in second problem solution. From the equation it is obvious that the nozzle is a convergent divergent type. That the nozzle is a convergent divergent types. From the equation it is obvious that the nozzle is convergent divergent type. As throat pressure is not given, maximum discharge condition is to be applied. It is enough to apply friction factor for divergent portion only. It is enough to apply friction factor for divergent portion only. It is enough to apply friction factor friction factor for divergent portion only. This is a solution of second problem solution. From the equation it is obvious that the nozzle is a convergent divergent types. A throat pressure is not given. Maximum discharge condition is to be applied. It is enough to apply friction factor for divergent portion only. As steam is initially in superheated state, critical pressure ratio is 0.546. P2 by P1. P1 is a throat P2. Therefore, P1 is a throat pressure. Therefore, P2 is equal to P1 into 0.46. Exit pressure. P2 is a throat pressure. Therefore, P2, P1 into this. Throat pressure is a 5.46. Exit pressure P3 is equal to 1.5 bar given. From tables, specific volume at and at P2 and or P3. Specific from tables, specific volume at P2 and or P3. P2 and P3. Vs2 is equal to 0.343 meter cube per kg. Vs3 1.159 meter cube per kg. As shown in this figure. Myler chart. This is a Myler chart. As shown in Myler chart, H1, delta H1, delta H2, power 1, delta H2, H2, H3, H3 power 1, delta H3 power 1. Saturation line as shown in this Myler chart. P1 is equal to 10 bar. P3 is equal to Q3 is equal to 0.92. Q3 power 1 is equal to 0.93. Q2 is equal to 0.98. P3 is equal to 1.5. Saturation line, super saturated temperature 200 degree centigrade. P2 is equal to 5.46. 1, 2, 3. This is a Myler chart. From the Myler chart, H1 is equal to 2826 kilojoule per kg. H2 is equal to 2710 kilojoule per kg. Drainage fraction. Exit portion 0.982. Drainage fraction as the throat 0.92. Delta H1 is equal to H1 minus H2. 2826 minus 2710 is equal to 116 kilojoule per kg. Delta H2 is equal to H1 minus H3. 2826 minus 2490. Delta H2 value is 336 kilojoule per kg. Delta H2 power 1 K delta H2 0.85 into 336. K value is 0.85. Delta H2 value is 336. 285.6 kilojoule per kg. To find x3 power 1, we have h3 power 1 is equal to h3 is equal to 1 minus 0.85 delta h2, 0.15 delta h2. 2490 plus 0.15 into 336 equal to 2540 kilojoule per kg. S3 power 1 value is 2540 kilojoule per kg. From 2540 draw a horizontal line to cut one point per lawn. P3 and 93 x3 power 1. Now 1 to 3 power 1 curve represent frictional adiabatic flow in divergent portion. Velocity of steam at throat. Velocity of steam at throat V2 is equal to 44.7 under root delta H1. Therefore V2 value 44.7, delta H1 is 116, 481.4 meter per second. Velocity of steam at exit V3 44.7 under root K delta H2 or delta H power 1 2. Therefore 44.7 under root 285.6, 755.4 meter second V3 value. Mass rate of flow M is equal to 200 kg per hour. 200 seconds is converted 60 into 60, 0.055 kg per second. But M is equal to A2V2 by X2 VS2. 0.05 equal to 481.4. 0.982 into 0.343. 3.85 into 10 power minus 5 meter square, 38.5 mm square. But 5 by 4 into d2 square. A2 is where diameter of throat. D2 is where diameter of throat. D2 is a diameter of throat. A2 is a area of the throat. Hence under root 38.5 to 5 by 4 d square. Ma'am answer. 0.055 AV x3 vs3 0.93 into 1.159. Hence A3 is equal to 7.85 into 10 MT is equal to 78.5 mm square. But A3 is equal to 5 by 4 D3 whole square. D3 square where 3 is diameter at exit. Therefore 3 is a diameter at exit. Therefore 7.5 A3 value is 5 by 4 D3 square. Hence under root 78.5 but A3 is equal to 5 by 4 D square. Hence D3 is next problem we discuss about solve this. Dry saturated steam at a pressure of 12 bar enter a convergent divergent nozzle and leaves it a 2 bar absolutely if the flow is isentropic and if the corresponding expansion index 1.135. Find the ratio of cross sectional area at exit and throat for maximum discharge. Solution. Inlet pressure P1 is equal to 12 bar. Let throat pressure be P2 bar. Exit pressure P3 equal to 2 bar. Let A2, A3 be the throat and exit area of section. These are A2, A3 be the throat and exit areas of section. Initial condition dry and saturated. Then for maximum discharge critical pressure ratio. P2 by P1 is a critical pressure ratio. 2 by 1 plus n plus 1 whole power n by n minus 1, where is n is expansion index. 2 by n value is 1.135 plus 1. The substitute. Critical pressure ratio is 0.578. Therefore, P2 is equal to P1 into 0.578 equal to 12 into 0.578 equal to 6.94 bar. Solution. H1, delta H2, H2, H3. These are indicated in y-axis. Entropy HS diagram. Entropy is indicated x-axis. Area A, B, C. P1, area P1 is 12 bar. B is indicated P2, 6.91 bar. The C point is P3 is 2 bar. Saturation line. Saturated line. X2 is 0.962. X2, Q2. X3, Q3 is 0.894 as shown in this figure. Solution. From HS diagram, Euler chart. From HS diagram, Euler chart, we read the following values. H1 is equal to 2783 kilojoule per kg. H2 is equal to 2683 kilojoule per kg. H3 is equal to 2480 kilojoule per kg. X2 is equal to 0.962. X3 is equal to 0.894. Delta H1 is equal to H1 minus H2 is equal to 2783 minus 2683. Delta H1 value is 100 kilojoule per kg. Delta H2 is equal to H1 minus H3, 2783 minus 2480, 303 kilojoule per kg. Solution. From tables, VS2 is equal to 0.274 meter cube per kg. By interpolation, VS3 is equal to 0.8854 meter cube per kg. Throat velocity V2 is equal to 44.72 under root delta H. 44.72 under root delta H value is 100. 447.2 meter per second. V3 is equal to 44.72 under root delta H. 44.72 under root 303. 778 meter per second. Solution. By law of continuity, the mass rate of flow m is equal to A2V2 by X2 Vs2 is equal to A3V3 by X3 Vs3. A3A2 is equal to X3 Vs3 V2 by X2 Vs2 V3. 0.9894 into 0.8854 into 447 by 0.962 into 0.274 into 778. 1.725 answer. Assignment problem. This steam enter a group of convergent divergent nozzle at a pressure of 22 bar and with a temperature of 240 degrees centigrade. The exit pressure is 4 bar and 9% of the total heat drop is lost in friction. The mass flow rate is 10 kg per second and the flow up to the throat may be assumed frictionless Calculate this. The throat and exit velocity. The throat and exit areas. Second problem. The throat diameter of a nozzle is 5 mm if dry and saturated steam at 10 bar is supplied to the nozzle. Calculate the mass flow per second. The exhaust pressure is 1.5 bar. Assume frictionless adiabatic flow and index of expansion. N is equal to 1.135. If 10% of the asymptotic heat drop lost in friction, what should be the correct diameter at outlet for steam to issue at the same exhaust pressure? Third problem. Steam turbine develops 185 kilowatt with a consumption of 16.5 kg of kilowatt per hour. The pressure and temperature of steam entering the nozzle are 12 bar and 220 degrees centigrade. The steam leaves at the nozzle at 1.5 bar and the diameter of the nozzle at throat is 7 mm. Find the number of nozzles if 8% of the total enthalpy drop is lost in friction. In the diverging part of the nozzle, determine the diameter at the exit of the nozzle and the exit velocity of the leaving steam. Sketch the skeleton Euler diagram and show on it the values of pressure, temperature, drainage fraction, enthalpy and specific volume at inlet, throat and exit. Fourth problem. Steam expand in a nozzle under the following conditions. Inlet pressure is equal to 15 bar. Inlet temperature 250 degree centigrade. Final pressure 4 bar. Mass flow 1 kg per second. Calculate the required throat and exit area using Euler diagram. When the expansion is frictionless and 2. The friction loss at any pressure amount to 10% of the total heat drop down to that pressure. Working principles of steam injector. Applications. Steam injector. Steam injector works on the principles of steam nozzles. Steam injector works on the principles of steam nozzle. It utilizes the kinetic energy of a steam jet for the steam injector is utilized the kinetic energy of a steam jet for increasing the pressure and velocity of the feed water. Increasing the pressure and velocity of feed water. It is mostly used for forcing the feed water into steam boiler under pressure. It is mostly used for forcing the feed water into steam boiler under pressure, as shown in steam injector. Steam injector has shown in this figure. This component H1 is enthalpy of this heat. Feed tank, feed water tank, delivery pipe, diverging cone, converging cone, mixing cone. This cone is there in this steam injector. Diverging cone, converging cone, mixing cone. Steam nozzle, overflow, atmospheric pressure. In this is a atmospheric pressure. Water level, enthalpy H2. Inlet position, water level is H1, enthalpy is H1. Exit boiler is flowing to the boiler, feeding to the boiler, water level H2. This component is there in steam injector. They are working in different position. Mixing cone, diverging cone, converging cone, overflow, steam nozzles, atmospheric pressure, delivery pipe, feed tank, water level, boiler. Steam injector. Steam injector. The steam from the boiler is expanded to a high velocity by passing it through a convergent nozzle. The steam jet enters the mixing cone and imparts its momentum to the incoming water supplies from the feed tank. The cold water causes the steam to condense. The cold water causes the steam to condense. This is a steam injector conditions. The steam from the boiler is expanded. The steam from the boiler is expanded to a high velocity by passing it through a convergent nozzle. By passing it through a convergent nozzle. The steam jet enters the mixing cone. The steam jet enters the mixing cone. The steam jet enters the mixing cone and imparts its momentum to the incoming water supplied from the feed tank. The cold water causes the steam to condense. Steam injector. The resulting jet at B formed by the steam and water is with high velocity and at atmospheric pressure. The mixer enters into the diverging cone diffuser. Diverging cones means diffuser in which the kinetic energy is converted into pressure energy. This diffuser diverging cone is kinetic energy is converted into pressure energy. The mixer enter into the diverging cone. The resulting jet at B formed by the steam and water is with high velocity and at atmospheric pressure. The mixer enter into diverging cone. The mixer enters into diverging cone diffuser in which the kinetic energy is converted into pressure energy. The pressure energy is sufficient to lift the water through delivery pipe. The pressure energy is sufficient to lift the water through delivery pipe and feed it to boiler. The pressure of these are steam injector. The resulting jet at B formed by the steam and water is with high velocity and at atmospheric pressure. The mixture enter into the diverging cone diffuser in which the kinetic energy is converted into pressure energy. The pressure energy is sufficient to lift the water through delivery pipe and feed it to boiler. Steam injector. The pressure of water on leaving the delivery pipe must be about 20% higher than the boiler pressure in order to overcome all resistance. The gap between the mixing cone and diverging cone is provided with a outlet for the flow of excess water. The gap between the mixing cone and diverging cone is provided with an outlet for the flow of excess water. During the starting of the injector. This is just the pressure of the water on leaving the delivery pipe must be about 20% higher than the boiler pressure in order to overcome all resistance. The gap between the mixing cone and the diverging cone. The gap between the mixing cone and diverging cone is provided with an outlet for the flow of excess water. during the starting of the injector. Steam injector applications. Steam injector applications. It is used to feed the water to boiler under pressure. Steam injector is useful to. It is used to feed the water to boiler under pressure. Water is fed to the boiler under pressure. In this figure, this component is there: H1, H2, feed tank, feed water tank, delivery pipe, diverging cone, converging cone, mixing cone, steam nozzle, overflow, atmospheric pressure, boiler, water level. This component is there in steam injector. Steam injector may be useful to the supply the water to the boiler. As shown in this figure.
Device, feel free to write a brief description in the comment section of this video. Imagine for a moment that you want to pump water from atmospheric pressure to a boiler which has a pressure level of 10 to 15 times above the atmospheric pressure. Before the steam injector was invented, cold water was pumped to a boiler by using steam reciprocating pumps. There are some problems with this solution. The first problem is that steam used to operate the pump discharged to the atmosphere, which reduces the overall efficiency of the locomotive. The second problem is that we are pumping cold water into the boiler, which reduces boiler temperature. The third, but not the last problem, is that you have to maintain a pump that has many moving parts. At the diverging section, during the combining process, the speed of the water is to operate the first time.
Let the water run for a while, then open the steam valve, and then start to back off the water, start to close the water valve, and then it makes a wonderful slurping noise, which means that the injector is pumping water into the boiler, and this wonderful slurping noise is accompanied by nothing dripping from the overflow. Occasionally you will get a drip of water from the overflow, but most of it is going into the boiler. Look at this one. This is Don's latest offering, and a slight modification. The flanges are now union nuts, and when this is all painted and underneath the engine, you will not notice the hexagon. It's a fine line between it being ugly and practical. Once again, look at the quality of the silver soldering. It really does look like a casting. I'm going to fit one of these to my Castle Steam V6 boiler, as well as using the horizontal steam powered pump. In this clip you could see how quick it would be to remove the injector from an installation. These are just like standard union nuts with a flange on the end. I'm going to thread the holes to take some 10BA hexagon bolts. They're left blank so that the user can decide what kind of bolts that they need, relative to the scale of the engine that the injectors are fitted to. Once again, in this clip you can see that all they are standard flat-ended steam unions. Very painless and very quick to remove and refit the injector from the installation. I think this is a really good compromise between practicality and scale appearance. I once watched John Holroyd at the Steam Workshop dismantling the water system from a 5-inch gauge 9F steam locomotive, and it took him a long time. Every one of the flanges were bolted together. I really do admire the skill and patience of John Holroyd, but I prefer a much quicker method. This is definitely the most popular type of injector, and they just use union nuts on each end and on the water feed as well. Here are a pair of vertical injectors, and you can see the difference in size between the small one and these. This next part is taken from a video I made about testing my 7¼ inch gauge titch before running it round the track. As you can see, the engine is fitted with a pair of injectors. The black injector works fine and it sounds beautiful. The red injector has always been problematic, and I don't think it's the injector at all. I'd just like to say there was nothing wrong with the red injector, it was just some very bad plumbing where I got some silver soldered down one end of a pipe where it shouldn't be. A while back I made a video all about working on a Chinese 14XX steam locomotive, and here's a short extract showing one of the injectors, which means that the injector is feeding the water into the boiler. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't think this would be the case. Although it's not perfect, it's still a little bit dribbly. I can clearly see the water level climbing up the gauge class. This was the level of water showing in the gauge class before I used the injector, and the reason that the injector just knocked off with a big cloud of steam is because the water went right to the top, and if you get water coming down the steam line to the injector will not work at all. By now we have a bit of pressure. It's going up towards 40 pounds per square inch. Time to test the injector. Water valve on, let the water run, open the steam valve and the injector injects. It immediately dries up and it's pumping water into the boiler. Sometimes you get it right first time, you open the water valve and then open the steam valve and it injects. Other times the water continues to run and you just have to back off the water a little bit. Then it picks up and makes that lovely sound as the water is being pumped into the boiler. And that's about it. Different
In today class we discuss about the summary. Steam injector work on the principles of steam nozzle. It is utilize the kinetic energy of steam jet for increasing the pressure and velocity of feed water. It is used to feed the water to boiler under pressure. The steam injector may be used to feed the water to boiler under pressure. The purpose of steam injector is to supply feed water to boiler. The purpose of steam injector is to supply feed water to boiler. The pressure of feed water supplied to a boiler should be greater than boiler pressure. The pressure of feed water supplied to a boiler should be greater than boiler pressure. In this topic today class, this question may be asked in exam point of view. Frequently asked questions. What do you know about steam injector? Explain the working of steam injector with neat sketch. Where the steam injector are used? Steam injector are used. This question may be asked. This question may be asked in exam point. What do you know about steam injector? Explain the working of steam injector with neat sketch. Where the steam injector are used? Today class is completed. All of you, thanks.